Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Sunday Morning Coffee with Lisa. I'm Spiritual Coach Lisa Hopp. It is Sunday, May 21st, 2023. Thank you so much for joining me this morning. I hope you're doing well. If you're new to this podcast, please be sure to check out my website at lisahopp.com. It tells all about my current upcoming events and all about my work, and you can hit the schedule appointment button on any page, and appointments are available not only in person, but also via Zoom and telephone. And for those of you coming back every week, thank you so much. Please be sure to like, subscribe, and share if you will. And also find me on Facebook under my business page, Spirit Teacher Lisa M. Hopp. And I'm also on Instagram too, under Spirit Teacher Lisa Hopp as well, I believe. So the topic today is, can our departed loved ones really ever leave us? Can they leave you? The answer is no. It's not, and because they want to. So I wanted to explain that a bit, because sometimes I hear a belief that says after time, our departed loved ones, after they pass, will kind of float more away from us and just be in a higher energy. But what's so important to know is that, well, number one, let me start with, there is another dimension that our departed loved ones go to. And that dimension is right around us. It's probably less of an inch around you, but it is through what is called a veil. And that veil is just like an energy curtain. And that curtain can thicken when we grieve or miss our departed loved ones too much. And it can thin, almost even dissipate a bit when we're centered in the moment, when we're not expecting our loved ones, when we're just open, then it really thins. And that's when we get the signs. And the common signs are pennies from heaven and butterflies, lights flickering. They love to get into electricity and electronics. Just a touch on your head or your arm or your shoulders. It's very, very common signs. And with butterflies, can also be birds, anything with wings. But it has to be odd. I often need 3 ways of accepting a sign. And I usually go, yeah. But sometimes heaven will get me on the first one. It'll just be too undeniable. And that's all right. I like it when they work their magic. So what the rule to live by is, if it's weird, it's heaven. If you can't explain it, it's heaven. Synchronicities, coincidences, heaven. That's our guides, perhaps. Signs from the universe, but it also can be our departed loved ones guiding us. So when that veil thins, they'll use energy, because they are now energy, our departed loved ones. And when they first pass, it's different for everyone. They're never alone. Your departed loved ones are never alone. Even if you feel they passed alone, even if you know they passed alone, they weren't alone. There are angels there, departed loved ones there. Whatever is best for them is there. And then they go through a review. Once they have, sometimes they go through the review first. I would imagine, as I said, it's different. But they do feel most of the time surrounded and welcomed. The review is a flash, and it is, perhaps as you've heard, where you get to be first person. You get to experience all the emotions, all the colors, all the legacy and impact that you made. And my sense is that it is positive and beautiful overall, perhaps a bit overwhelming, because you get to see when you saved someone and you didn't realize it, just by opening a door for them or smiling at them. Perhaps giving a listening ear to a stranger in a bathroom. You just can't know sometimes your impact on this world, but you're in the world to have one. You matter. Everybody who's on this earth plays a purpose. So once you get that review, what I've often found is that the loved ones will, then kind of get acclimated to heaven. However, for those first days, they are strongly with us. So even though they may be getting acclimated to heaven a bit, they're also, for the most part, being with us. Right around us, making sure we're all right, trying to comfort us, trying to let us know they're okay. And I feel it is strongest over those first 3 days. But it continues from there. It can be weeks, it can be months. Again, when you look for them the most, you're thickening that curtain. So it is important to be in the present moment, even through some very often hard times of the stages of grief. And depending on who you've lost, if it's a child, it's the unimaginable loss, and we can be quite despondent. And no one can really, by the way, no one can really understand another's grief. No one can really read body language. I saw a post yesterday of someone receiving news about someone, and they hid their face and they laughed, and people attacked this person. Sometimes we have reactionary ways that often we have no control of. And yes, sometimes that's a laugh or a giggle. Sometimes we can't stop crying. Sometimes we're stoic, we have no emotion. When I was a preteen, I was watching a funeral clippings with an older relative, and the widow, it was a famous celebrity, and the widow was hugging people and smiling, and my relative was criticizing them. Look at them, they're smiling, it's a funeral. And oftentimes you put on a brave face. Oftentimes you're happy to see those people that are there to bring you comfort and to honor those that you've lost. So you can't measure grief by what you see watching someone. It's so internal. And you also really, what everybody needs is time, but their time is different. Sometimes people react physically in trying to help themselves, and sometimes people need years to really move forward. Again, it's individual. We often base things on what we would do on ourselves, and well, that's natural. But it's important to understand that it is right and good to be there for someone, to say, I'm here if you need me, but to let them go through their process, to let them go through anger if they have it, or just the ebbs and flows, the bad days and the good days. I think it happens more with men, perhaps, whether friends or relatives who tell them, oh, if you've lost a spouse, just go out and date again. Just get out there physically, it'll help. And it doesn't often, because you're not working on how you feel on the inside. You're not going through the process. You're forcing yourself to move forward. Now, sometimes we have to force ourselves to move forward a bit, to get up in the morning, to take a deep breath, to just have a normal activity. But physical sometimes is not the way to go, because it only delays going through the process of healing. And when we lose somebody on earth, we never really can move. We can never really move on, but we can move forward. They'll always be a part of us. They're a part of our DNA. They have a pocket within us. We carry them along, and they know it. They know it. Because your loved ones in heaven will always hear you in every way and feel you in every way, even when they're not standing right next to you or sitting right next to you. Your emotions are like a radio signal. Your thoughts are a radio signal, because your thoughts are energy that go out to energy. So just like you manifest from your thoughts and your emotions and your words, your loved ones also take that information and try to help you. So why can they not leave you completely? Love. And it's often love for you that grows even more once they get to heaven, because they're hearing you in every way, so they become more connected to you. They know who you are. They know who you are perhaps better than you know who you are, and better than others know who you are. But also, they're in a place of imaginable love, acceptance, mercy, joy. And so while they can keep some personality about them, they just naturally expand themselves to better versions of themselves. Just if you were around great, loving, immeasurable energy, love all day long, it would start to kind of sponge into you a bit. You'd absorb it. And so they want to be that energy. They become a part of that energy. They become part of the oneness. And so that natural way within them that says, I want to serve now. I want to make that life better for them than it was for me. I've learned some lessons. I want to try and help them to learn lessons too. And so that is around you too. Now, especially if the departed loved one, wronged you in some way or didn't treat you right, was abusive, they're going to be around you too, most likely. Maybe after a matter of time when they've done some healing, but they're going to be there. Now, they're there. And I often hear this in my work. Well, I don't want them around me. They can just be where they are. I forgive them. Just let them be where they are. Let's stay apart. Well, they know you. They're reading you. You want them to stay apart because of what they did to you. But they can't leave it. Now in heaven, all is healed. But they like to start early on earth. They like to come around. They assist you. They want to be able to, when they do meet up with you again, and all understanding is there of whys, all the whys are answered, they want you to know that they were trying to make up for it. They were trying to heal. And they want to because of their highest selves. I was raised in traditional religion. It talks of purgatory or hell, or, you have to almost clean up yourself in order to get in. There is healing that takes place. But all who pass, for the most part, are worthy of going to heaven. There is evil, but heaven doesn't give up on evil. It may let it house on the north side for a while, but it can never give up on it because of love. So no matter how long your loved ones have been in heaven, no matter if you even knew them because they passed before you were born, they'll come around you when you need them. And sometimes when you don't need them. If they want to celebrate with you or just remember what their emotional lives, their anniversaries, their moments. But when they're around you, for the most part, it is there because they want to help you. I love to tell my clients some of the biggest regrets that people have when they pass. Number one, they find out that it was a waste of time to ever worry. It's a waste of time. It never changes one outcome. It only harms your physical body and your quality of life and your happiness. So they want to come around us and help us and try to tell us to be calm and not to worry. And I've heard of that with signs. They see it on their phone or they hear a voice say it. Just be calm or calm down. Because your loved ones in heaven know all of your potential past, and they know no matter what, you're going to be okay. So, and they're not allowed to lie. So when they tell you to just calm down, they know it's going to help you. They're trying to serve. Another regret that they have, a big one, is that they didn't say I love you enough or show love enough. Sure, some of our departed loved ones can provide for us, can give us security, but the words they find are important. They find out how important they were and are. Oftentimes, when loved ones will come through in an appointment, they say over and over and over again, I love you. Because they're supplementing, they're making up for what they didn't do on earth, but now they are capable of. And so they're all about that comfort. I love you's expression. Because they released their blocks that they had on earth that prevented them from giving that kind of expression and affection. We give on this earth as much as we are capable of giving. We all have blocks from our inner child, perceptions that were given to us. Most of the time it's lack of worthiness, not being enough, living in fear. Fear is a big one. And so we hold back, but in heaven we find out how important it was not to hold back. And another regret, which this one makes me smile, is that they find out that they could have been done, had anything they asked for. There's an infinite universe with infinite supply. There's no, you have to work hard for the money, and there's no class system in heaven. And there really isn't a class system on earth except one imposed by man. And that living by this imposed system, imposed beliefs, perceptions, block them from having what they could have asked for. So I always have this picture in my head of someone saying, what? You mean I could have had that all along and I stopped myself? Yes, you stopped yourself. So it is so important to watch what you fear. If you play the lottery, for instance, but you fear winning because someone might rob you or you lose your friends or your family, then you're not going to win. You're blocking yourself. So watch your thoughts, your fears, your words, and your beliefs, because they are very, very powerful. So your loved ones know that in order to have abundance, you have to feel abundance. In order to have health, you have to feel healthy as much as possible. And to have love, you have to tremendously love yourself and be loving towards others. They learn all of this. And just understanding and knowledge about us, about the whys of how relationships in life was the way it was. And so because of all that, it makes them feel drawn to us. They know when we're missing them. They know how much we care. They know how they've impacted us. There is no mysteries. All answers are given, and again, it draws them into us. So keep yourself centered as much as possible, but aware. What's happening around me? Am I getting, a name on a license plate in front of me out of nowhere? Is a bird staring at me through a window? Is there a light touch on my hair? And I want to say this as well in closing. It is healthy to talk to them. However, when you talk to them, you have to let it go to them. If you're looking for a response, waiting for a response, again, you're going to thicken that curtain. But yes, you're allowed to speak out loud to them. I actually feel it can be very healthy. Now, they'll hear your thoughts before you even get out your words, but it's good for you. And if you can let it go, you very well might get a response. They can come in dreams too, if we're open. So it's very important to know that. Speak your mind to them, even if it's, and be honest, don't hold back. If you feel angry, say it. If you're frustrated, say it. Whatever emotion you're having, let it out. They understand. Remember, they know who you are. Truly, beyond the mask, at your core. And also, it's all right. You're not dishonoring them to speak the truth about your relationship with each other. It's all right to acknowledge that they were human and sometimes they fouled up. It's all right. They know. And they just want to help you with it. Now, if you feel you're in the present moment, but you're not sensing them, and you're not feeling signs or anything, or seeing them, don't give up. Sometimes they have to be quieter around you for your higher good, for your path, for the lessons you're here to learn. And sometimes we feel we're open when we're not fully open. Just keep at it. At some point, you'll know they're there. And you'll probably even feel that there's more than one. Thank you so much for joining me today. I appreciate you so very much. And be sure to like, subscribe, and share if you're listening to this on YouTube. And to find me on Facebook under my business page. And also Instagram. I had a bit of a block there for a moment. Instagram under Spiritual Coach Lisa Hopp. Thank you again. Have a blessed day, a blessed week, and I'll talk to you next time.